Well, Kyle, as we rapidly approach the end of September, I have pulled off something that's honestly kind of impressive. I have gone from first to last in
Ooh,
extremely rapid fashion.
wow.
Um,
What was the root cause?
the Chinese announcements about Bitcoin did not help.
Right.
DraftKings, I haven't followed exactly what has been going on there. But for the month, they're down almost 13.5%, which is atrocious. So yeah, those two things. Ethereum is also down over 14%, so
Yeah.
not great. On the bright side, Tesla's almost in the positive all time. I'm
Ooh,
now down less than 3%.
nice. That's
So
actually not too bad.
we take the good with the bad, I suppose. This would
Yeah,
only be the
definitely.
second month that I've lost, though, and I'm really not keen
Hmm.
on that happening. So I'm not entirely sure. This late, I'm not sure that there's much I can do, except for hope that the news cycle bails me out. I mean, I've got like 3 market days to make
Yeah.
up. What do I need to make up? I only need to make up a percentage point to get third.
Okay. Yeah, that's not
So
too bad actually.
it's possible. It's very possible. But I guess we'll
I
see. I haven't
am.
really been paying attention to what I would buy to make it happen, though, so that's the other problem. I need to figure
Oh,
out what I
okay.
would do.
Yeah.
But
I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum.
yeah, you're winning.
Potentially, yeah, I'm potentially looking like on par for I think my first win, which is actually pretty exciting.
Is it your first?
Yes, I every time I've come close to winning, I've dropped to like first or I've dropped from like first to like second or last. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure. So yeah, I've kind of had your luck for this month.
well, that would be
But for me,
exciting.
yeah, so we'll see. But I don't know. I mean, pretty much nothing has gone well for me this week, but I guess everything has gone worse for you guys.
Yep,
Yeah, that
it's gone
sounds about
worse.
right. Yeah.
An accurate assessment.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that was bad went down like in like another 1% at least.
Oh
And
my,
then everything that was good also went down by like 2 or 3%. So,
I gotcha.
I guess still holding on, but yeah, I guess maybe mine just didn't take the impact as like harshly as everyone else.
Hmm. Well, I guess we'll hope that you can hold on for those last couple days and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. We got what, three? Yeah, 3 more days, right? 3 market days.
What
Yeah.
is today?
It is Monday the 27th.
Let's see. So that means, yeah, you've got to make it till Thursday. If you can make it through end of market day Thursday,
Okay. All right, let's keep holding on then.
that's
Hopefully.
doable. You can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Come on, let's go.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at mine and it's red, red, and more red. So
Yeah, not looking super hot.
sometimes there's something to be said for just navigating the rocky conditions and not losing as much as everybody else. So hey, good
That's
for you.
true. Yeah.
That also requires a lot of skill. So, but I referenced earlier that I'm almost back to even on Tesla,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like this is a significant topic because of the reason that it popped today in particular.
Right.
Um, you can now apply for the full self-driving beta test program.
Interesting.
So, um, not everybody who applies gets in.
Okay.
They are screening applicants, for lack of a better word, based on the drivers who have the highest Tesla safety score, which
Okay.
apparently they calculate based on the data your car collects about your driving habits.
Hmm.
Um, Basically, it's summarized as the likelihood that your driving would result in a future collision.
Okay.
Um, so they have been tracking your forward collision warnings, hard braking, aggressive turns, unsafe following distances, and events of forced autopilot disengagement.
Mm.
So if you have been overly reliant on any of those, you're probably not going to get into the program.
Right.
But I think for the automotive industry in general, this is a huge step.
Yeah.
Because I, for one, care about self-driving less so for safety purposes, which don't like. I don't mean for that to sound bad. I do genuinely care for safety purposes.
Mm.
But like where we live, traffic is so atrocious. If I could get a self-driving car,
Yes,
and immediately get rid of like even a third of the congestion that's caused by people being stupid, sign me up. Like, here's my money.
Exactly.
I would buy that tomorrow. And I work from home, and I would still buy that tomorrow.
Yep, definitely.
So I'm very curious to see how well does it work? How much longer would it be before it's like live for everybody, for lack of a better word? Then like, how do other automakers respond to that? Do they have their own stuff in the works? Are they going to license it?
Yeah, I feel like
it's a huge perk. If you're comparing two cars and one of them drives themselves, obviously that's a massive selling point.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, yeah, I mean, I could see. I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like they would need to, if all manufacturers are going to do something like this, like a automated driving thing, I feel like they all have to have some type of standard. Because I mean, like, if I feel like my biggest thing would be is that if or like the biggest benefit that I see from this is that like if say for example everyone had a Tesla had like a like owned the market on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone bought a Tesla, they could all intercommunicate or like communicate between vehicles, and then you just have this like just grid of vehicles moving, as opposed to like, oh, this idiot hit the brakes randomly and then it's delaying. Yeah, so like it would make traffic so much easier, like so smooth, like, or it would flow so smoothly.
Yeah,
but I guess, I mean, if you have your vehicle as reactive as possible, then I'm sure then it could like between companies, manufacturers, they could like detect that and like react quickly. But I feel like if they had some type of standard, that would be the most like efficient way to do it, rather than reactive. It's saying like, hey, I'm stopping now. But yeah, I guess I don't know, that's like, yeah, it's super huge. I think, yeah, like the benefit for me is not necessarily safety, as like you said, it's more I don't know, congestion.
Well, I think they go hand in hand, though, right? Because in theory, reducing congestion makes driving safer.
Right.
But also, driving safer will reduce congestion if it means that people are properly regulating their speed, they're reducing, them looking over at the shoulder of the road if there was an accident somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, all of those other behaviors you can start to cut down on.
Exactly.
Properly zipper merging, oh my goodness.
Oh,
could you
man.
imagine?
That would be the biggest benefit ever. But yeah, I mean, also like, yeah, I mean, having accidents, like if you can reduce the amount of accidents, that also reduces the amount of, because I don't remember I think I remember reading something where like an accident on the freeway lingers for like hours and it propagates like further down the road. Like, I don't know how long it lingers for, but it's like in the hours. It's in like a couple number of hours. So like,
it's a long time.
Yeah. So if you could reduce even one accident, then that already benefits a ton too. And one accident just induces or like just causes more accidents because people are rubbernecking and stuff. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess they do go in hand, but yeah, like,
I'm also curious though to see. Obviously, they're fairly popular in terms of sales volume.
Right.
But is there enough of them? Like, what's the tipping point, right? For the number of cars that have to have this activated before the rest of us see any type of appreciable difference.
Yeah, that's true. Because, like,
does everybody in the world have to have a Tesla? Like, is it like a third? Like, what is the percentage, if we could even calculate that? I would be curious.
Yeah, because it's difficult to say too. Because like if you have a bunch of like say for example you have a bunch of people who have automated driving, but then you also have like there's some idiot over there who's just like need like brake checking everyone,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then you still he still causes an accident that basically it kind of it kind of like I don't know defeats the point of it in
It
a way.
does. You're right. It does.
So I get it's gonna be difficult to say what number of vehicles. Like, is it like 50% of the like
Mm-hmm.
how big of a market are they gonna have, or how much of the share are they gonna have to own?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly how many we do not know.
Yeah.
Curious. It's fun to dream, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The other topic I wanted to cover in electric vehicles tonight
Okay.
was the partnership between Ford and SK Innovation Group.
Interesting.
So they're going to spend $11 billion, create 11,000 jobs to build EV cars and batteries.
Okay. You said Ford and SK, so like SK as in like the South Korean.
I believe it's a South Korean group, yes.
Okay.
So 2 lithium-ion battery plants in central Kentucky,
Hmm.
a campus in western Tennessee. Ford stock saw some serious movement after the announcement.
Yeah.
It's up like 2 or 3%
Okay.
on the day,
Oh. Okay.
which in a day that's a lot.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, Ford has struggled like as a stock.
Hmm.
It's always it feels like for as long as I could remember, like 2008, 2009 notwithstanding, of course, it's been stuck in this like $8 to $14 range. And so at that price, to me, it feels like a buy if you're going to be in it for a handful of years, because this to me is a serious investment in the future of automotives. If Tesla's out of your ballpark, or you don't like the volatility, or you don't like Elon Musk or whatever, right?
Hmm.
This to me seems like Ford is trying to position themselves as the next really serious player.
Yeah.
Obviously, GM has made some announcements of the things that they're trying to do. I would be curious to see between the two who performs better over the long haul, but this to me seems like really, really good news and a potential buy sign for Ford.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's gonna be probably. Well, I mean, Ford is like one of the largest automotive manufacturing companies in the world, and it's like a huge name too. So yeah, if they're pioneering and they're kind of setting the standard for like, hey, we're gonna be the first big company to do
Mm-hmm.
like mass manufacturing and development of electric vehicles. Yeah, that's gonna be like I don't know. I mean, are they positioning themselves to be? I mean, that's always kind of a benefit, right? To position yourself as the number one. So
And I think
yeah,
part of it is that they didn't want to be reliant on sourcing them from elsewhere.
right.
So by making that part of their own supply chain, I think they're trying to insulate some of those risks
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, I mean, at a time where they're talking about phasing out all the internal combustion stuff, I think this is the type of decision you want to see them make if you're excited about the potential of anything that they've been talking about doing.
Right. Yeah.
The other thought well, I guess it was a thought that I had, but they made sure to reference in the announcement that none of this was financed by debt. So
Okay.
all of this has been financed by corporate profit.
Okay.
So
That's like true.
$11 billion in corporate profit.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, we've talked a lot about chip shortages and all that stuff, and like, make no mistake, the car manufacturing is a dicey spot to be right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But you have to feel pretty good too if, yeah, no big deal, we have enough cash on hand over the lifetime of these investments to pay for it without borrowing a cent.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually pretty huge. Considering, I mean, it's been a while since Ford was one of the only or I think they were the only company to not be bailed out back in like '08,
Correct.
right? Yeah. So that's like, I mean, that's huge, and I think that was kind of like a proud moment, I guess, as they're
It was something
yeah.
that they really hung their hat on as like, hey, look at us, we're doing things right over here.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's like a huge thing. Is that I think again coming back to like them being, I feel like responsibly owned and and
Mm-hmm.
managed is that yeah, like it's a company that one like you probably can see that they're gonna make get big steps in like
Yeah.
in technology, but then also they're doing it responsibly and they're not trying to like dig themselves a hole.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a pretty cool thing. Like it's a company you can trust.
Yeah.
Is the probably the image they're trying to put out?
Definitely something to watch long
Yeah.
term. Um, I'm also very curious to see how the electric F-150 does, the
Yeah,
F-150
it's the
Lightning.
lightning.
Very curious to see if they can reach any type of mass market penetration with that. Um, though it is not all bright and shiny news for Ford. Wouldn't be fair. I didn't also discuss it. I feel bad for thinking that this is funny, but of all the product recalls that I have seen lately, so GM obviously some of the Chevy batteries were catching on fire. If you have an
Right.
electric car and the battery catches on fire, rather serious problem. But that's like integral to the operation of the car.
Mhm.
This recall from Ford. Ford recalls Mustang Mach-E over risk that the glass roof will fly off while the car is in motion.
Holy shit! Wow. Okay. It's that fast, folks.
It's that
Wow.
fast, and apparently the glass roof is not secured with much.
Yeah. Okay. Like, okay. Is this vehicle like? Is it like Priuses where they use like recycled materials?
I'm I don't know enough about the
Hmm.
particulars. It says 18,000 of them sold to date are at risk for the defect.
Wow.
Only 13,000 of them, so only 13,000 of the 18,000, run the risk of the roof actually detaching.
Wow. Okay. That.
Which still is a lot. Like 13,000 out of 18,000 is still a massive percentage.
Yeah.
But they say to date they are not aware of any accidents or injuries related to the defect.
I guess that's good. They could market it as a convertible.
Yeah, I mean, but
Jeez.
like I get why you want to put a glass roof on a car. You're trying to make a statement, right? This is
Right.
supposed to be this iconic first release of your, you know, electrification of, the American Motor Company, right?
Right. Yep.
You would think that you would probably pay attention to whether or not your roof was sealed properly.
Yeah. That's pretty. That's pretty important. See. Oh man, I really
Oops.
want to see some type of video of this. Is there a video of this? Damn, that roof is huge.
Yeah, it's a large roof. It's like it almost looks like it's one piece. I don't know if it is or not,
Yeah, I'm not
but
sure. I get okay. So there used to be one around in my neighborhood, or not neighborhood, but in my area, and
mhm.
this guy would always show it off. Like at every stoplight, he would be like, he'd basically do a burnout.
Of course you would.
Um, yeah, but that might be why I haven't seen it in a while. His roof fell off or flew off. Wow, that's pretty not great though. I mean, okay, luckily yes, there have
Yeah.
been no reported injuries. But geez, I mean, like you'd think that gluing on or like I mean, literally every car sold has a at least a front windshield and a rear window.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the adhesive they use for this is relatively proven at this point, so I'm not
Yeah,
entirely sure how you make this kind of mistake.
yeah. Like, is there a specific like? I wonder if there's any specific like use cases or causes that are making because like it's not like oh they're going so fast that the suction the down or whatever the suction on
I
the
feel like
top
it
of the
has
roof
to
is
be a
pulling up.
combination of things, right? Maybe some
Yeah.
water got in there,
Hmm.
ate away at some of the adhesive, then maybe it becomes at risk.
Yeah.
Like if any of it's like a sunroof or a moonroof type of a thing, if you use
Yeah.
that too much, does that make it more at risk? Like I find it very hard to believe, and that's probably why I found the headline so damn entertaining, that you're just driving down the road and your roof just flies off your car.
That would be so ridiculous to watch. I can't even imagine.
Like, it sounds
It's
like a movie stunt. It doesn't even sound like something that happens in real life.
it's literally Fast and Furious, the first Fast and Furious movie
It
when they're
is.
driving in the Supra and they go eject
Yeah.
they eject the roof. Yeah,
That's
that
literally
is
what it is.
insane.
Maybe that should be the marketing tagline for this. Real life
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious in your Ford
Yeah.
Mustang Mach-E.
Nice. Just remake that scene.
Anyway.
That is
Doesn't seem to have affected the share price too much. Like I said, it was up substantially following the announcement of that $11 billion investment, but this was the next headline for Ford, so an interesting amalgamation of good news and bad news. But
Yeah. Seems like the good news is slightly outweighing the bad news.
Yeah.
So.
Anytime the good news outweighs the bad news, that's a good day.
Mm-hmm.
But on the topic of like electrification in the clean economy, though, goodness, if I can talk, I saw something today from Bank of America about carbon offsets. Are you familiar with carbon offsets?
Not necessarily.
So essentially, carbon offsets are a variety of mechanisms used where companies can pay or invest in a variety of things or purchase the right to offset some of their emissions by means of some type of remediation.
Okay.
And so what Bank of America is saying is if we're going to meet our 2050 net zero carbon emissions goals, the offset market may need to grow by as much as 50x.
Holy.
Now, when I see a market with a forecast of growth at 50x, I pay attention, right?
Right. Yeah,
like
that's
50x is a ludicrous number. So on the one hand, it makes me kind of sad because are we going to get there? Probably not.
Right.
However, if there's a way to invest in pieces of this process that's going to grow or be in a marketplace where the growth of that overall marketplace is 50x, like, I feel like that's something that we should be looking for and getting pieces of.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's 2021. 2050, for investment purposes, right, is a fairly long way away.
Right.
Like, you and I will be approaching retirement age, or will have already retired at that point in time.
Yeah.
I guess close, probably.
Yeah.
So, it's not like you're going to be an overnight millionaire doing this, but the growth potential is there. So, like, in 2020, offsets were issued that were equivalent to 210 metric tons of CO2 emissions. As a percentage of global emissions, that was 0.4%.
Okay.
So, lots of growth potential, also massive amounts of liability, because that's a really small percentage, and that's really terrible.
Right.
But I, for one, will be very curious to see how accessible is it to the average investor to get into stuff like this? Because I know some of these types of products get fairly niche and very, very specialized really quickly.
Right.
And as a result are not accessible at all. Others find their way into ETFs or Robinhood or whatever, right? And it's way easier for people to get into that stuff.
Right.
But, I mean, is this the type of thing that you... Like, if it's presented the right way, is it something that you think people are interested in buying?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, provided that it's not like locked behind bars and it's inaccessible. I think if it was fairly easily accessible, maybe like you had to do some digging. I think the people who are looking for it, yes, they would definitely pursue it. And then even for like. I mean, like it's a common, I guess, goal. I don't know. I mean, it's a good goal that like a lot of people should, should be looking into. So I guess even someone who's not necessarily looking for it, probably if it's accessible enough, then they'd probably like at least take a look into it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I'm curious to see is like, how do they go about attempting to make it accessible if
Yeah.
any attempt is made. Is this something where it's just between the business and another business, and that's kind of
Mhm.
the beginning and the end of it? Or is there an opportunity for the public to get involved in facilitating that process, and if so, how easy?
Right. Yeah.
Because if it's not easy, people aren't going to do it, right? Why is
Yeah.
Robinhood so damn popular? Because it's easy.
It's super easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
I would be curious, because I haven't had the time to really look into all of the details since this report also came out today.
Mhm. Oh.
I would be curious to see if certain types of offsetting are more popular than others, if some of them become more widespread quicker because of that, if some of them possess particular attributes that make it more interesting as an investment product versus not an investment product, or just a
Right.
private enterprise. There's a lot to unpack here, and I think there's a lot of ways this could potentially go.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what kind of like offsets are available too, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, various ones would be maybe more interesting to specific investors. Yeah, I guess I'm
Very
just not
curious
sure
to see how
what
that
is
goes.
available. Yeah.
All right. Well, as we move on to our last story of the night, I saved this one for last on purpose.
Nice.
Because if you've watched any of these, you know that we've talked a lot about meme stocks, we've talked about GameStop, we've talked about AMC, and we're going to go back to the well, because again, today was a great day for news. I'm glad we're filming this on a Monday instead of
Nice.
the usual over the weekend, because
Right.
we would have missed all of this. Two individuals have formally been charged by the Securities and Exchange Commission for manipulating the GameStop options market.
Ooh, wow. Jeez.
So, allegedly, these two guys completed thousands of wash trades with themselves
Hmm.
to harvest hundreds of thousands of dollars in meme stock rebates from broker apps. So it's not even necessarily the actual security itself. It's rebates that were offered by some of these brokerage apps to get people into the game.
Okay.
So, on the one hand, I feel like some of these apps probably had it coming, because this is what happens when you provide poorly designed incentives.
Right.
On the other hand, if it manipulates the price of a publicly traded security, that's super duper illegal. So, it says that the investigation is ongoing to see if Robinhood or any other individuals are deemed liable for anything. But essentially what happened, a wash trade, you're basically trading with yourself as both the buyer and the seller,
Okay.
and you put options on GameStop, AMC, whatever. In this case, they did a handful of them.
Okay.
And then essentially every time they closed one of these option positions, they would get a rebate from the market makers who were setting up the options.
Okay.
So, these options, you ready for this number?
Sure.
The number of wash trades that they made between themselves comprises somewhere between 60 and 89% of all the put options traded on AMC, GameStop, BlackBerry, and Nokia on a single day in the month of March.
Holy shit. Okay. And what
in
is
a
the number?
single day,
Jeez.
all up to almost 90% of all the options came from these two guys.
Wow. That is some
That's
type of...
massive, dude.
How are they
Even
organized
60%
this?
is huge.
Yeah. But 90%, holy shit. Like, potentially even up to, jeez. What
Yeah.
kind of operation, like, do you have to have in order to
Well,
do
that was my question, right? Are you, like, every second of the day, like, working through your phone, like, creating and closing these positions? Do you have like server rooms somewhere? Like,
I
how
guess
is
you
it
could.
possible? Obviously, they've been caught at this point,
Right.
but like, it doesn't look really good for the people who are supposed to be regulating the integrity of the market. If this much volume comes in on a single day in the month of March and they have no idea until the end of September.
Right. Yeah, that is a drastically large
Not great,
time.
right?
Yeah. Jeez. I guess. I mean, you could automate it, but I don't know how to handle
Yeah,
some
I
of the
mean, in
variables
theory,
that
right,
come
you
up.
could write some type of algorithm to automate the process, but still,
Right. That is still
there are
ridiculous.
supposed to be things in place so that you can't do this.
Yeah, like,
And so, again, I
well,
don't know. Is some of this on Robinhood or other exchanges? Are
yeah.
they just that good at coding stuff? Like, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, they were just charged today, so there's a lot we still don't know.
And those are like those you have to trade within the like the market hours, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually not that much amount of time to do all of this. That
It
is
says what they know at this point is that they not only created accounts using other people's names, but accessed them through VPNs to obscure their identity.
jeez.
So one of them executed 11,400 trades, and are you ready for this rebate number?
Yeah.
Gained $668,671 in rebates.
Holy shit.
If you So obviously, people make commissions and fees off of all of that. Gross total before all of the commissions and fees, over 1.3 million in rebates.
Dude, oh my god.
The other guy executed 2,300 trades and cashed over $51,000 in rebates.
Jeez. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
obviously, this just so we're very clear. This was not the type of activity that was going on in Wallstreet bets where thousands of people put in $10 here, $100 here, $200 here. Like, this is a very deliberate and very well organized scheme to cash in on rebates that were designed to incentivize people to get in on it.
Right.
Which, again, seems dishonest, risky, and poorly designed, which is not surprising to me that something like this happened. But this is not what everybody was doing. These are two people who had a very specific thing in mind and managed to, I must admit, do it fairly successfully.
Right.
Obviously, at this point, they've been caught, but damn.
That is, yeah.
Like, that much volume in a single day worth that much money in rebates?
I don't even understand how you like. I mean, I guess like they have to have they distributed it among like many accounts. I think from what you said earlier. But how do you channel all of this into your like how do you funnel this into your own accounts and like access these funds? Like
Yeah, I
that is
mean,
ridiculous.
it had to be a massive number of accounts that were all funneling things back and forth and here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
But
And I'm sure that probably left a fairly large paper trail too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's probably
sure
how
it
they
did.
got caught. Like, hey, where did all this $600,000 come from? And 50-something thousand dollars.
Uh-huh.
That is insane.
Well, and so I was just doing the math while you were talking. How are some of these rebates worth like $60 a pop?
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
a pretty damn big rebate.
Yeah.
So, again, I must admit, I'm not surprised that people found a way to take advantage of a $60 rebate
Right. Yep.
in the middle of COVID when everybody is bored and at home with money to play with.
Yep. And plenty of
Like,
time.
damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like they figured. I wonder if it was more people. Like, I mean, there must be more than two people, right?
Yeah, I mean, only the two have been charged so far, but you do have to wonder if there are more out there.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's
These two
probably
can't have
some.
been the only two to have figured it out.
Exactly. Yeah. If there are two separate two separate accounts, or I mean, two separate people like totally unrelated,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, there has to be more people.
You would think.
Yeah,
You
that
would
figured out how to
certainly think.
game this. the system or whatever. That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, I've thought about like it's like couponing in a way, but like in a much more extreme way, and
Yeah.
scamming way that is gonna get you in prison.
Pretty wild, dude.
Yeah, I wonder like what type of people are these? Are these people with money? Like they started with money, they're like, all right, I'm gonna make more, or are these people who are like, well, here's my like year's income, like this is how I'm gonna make my money because I don't know.
All excellent questions that we may one day learn the answer to.
Yeah,
But definitely a story worth following because I am very curious what's all going to come out of this.
yeah, that's pretty insane. I don't know.
Absolutely bonkers.
Jeez.
Well, I have to ask as we approach the end of the show for the week and for the month. Sitting in first, are you eyeing any moves, or are you just going to ride it out? Because September, we can all agree, has been very, very rocky.
I feel like I am very hesitant to, because pretty much every time I've made a move last minute, I've tanked myself. So it's kind of scary. But everything's actually doing, I don't know, everything's doing pretty well right now in terms of like all-time performance too.
Nice.
So it's made me consider like selling something and like pulling in profit and trying to get
Cashing
something.
some stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, what do I buy? That's always the question.
Decisions.
Yep. So I guess at the moment I would say I'm holding position, but who knows?
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. And you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got some money floating around that I'm like I need to do something with it.
Right.
But like I said at the top of the show, I haven't been paying close enough attention to anything that I think is really worth picking up right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, with this much market volatility, there are buying opportunities. Things have depreciated. I just have to find something that I like and do something about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I may do something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Depends what I find.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, best of luck with these last few days down the home stretch. I hope you can lock down that number one spot.
Yep, we'll see.
I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Good luck. I'll talk to you next weekend.
Yeah, see you, dude.
Bye.